kill, the breeze come freeze up, straight dropping the chills. I'm talking taking over pieces and shares. A bomb break sky high, check the movement is here. Yeah, it's one heart, one shot. Now the future is yours. Go. Turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. We put the balls in the brakes. I'm talking one chance at best. Yes, painting pictures for the culture, keep the brushes fresh. Flip the cover with the drummer, passion never rests. Freedom is our teacher under pressure. Now we blessed. See, I was so good for the go. There's one art, one shot. Now the future is yours. Go. Yeah. It's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
What's up, man?
What's going on, Paul?
You know, just a lot of, camera talk going on. There's a lot of heated conversation going out. Well, hopefully this time around, Canon is not heating up. But they did take out some very interesting things from this release. But we're not going to jump into that too quickly. Look at that! Your studio looks so nice, man. I really dig that, like, bright look. It's almost like you're in a brand new space.
It's almost done. I literally just kind of put everything back together the other day, so still trying to figure it out where I want to put stuff. I ended up putting back my guitar on the wall. I wasn't going to do that, but it's back there again. So
I'm in a new space today. It's funny. It wasn't really planned. Like, it was so last minute. And my wife's like, I was trying to figure out if there was a better way to lay out my desk in my other room, because I really wanted that backdrop to be like the main focal point for at least the streams or something. And we just couldn't get it to work. And then she's like, you know what? Your studio space right now would be the perfect place for the guest room, and we could swap you into the other room. And this room is actually bigger than the room that I was in. So, like, behind me, I will have one set, and then to this wall over here, I'll have another, which is the main wall. Like, the door is over on this side. You can probably see it, like, barely, like, right here, the hinges or whatever. But this is going to be like the focal wall when you walk in the room, and it'd also be probably my main studio shot. My goal is to have like a rolling C stand in here with a softbox. And then this wall right here where the door is like 8 feet. So I'm gonna get that's where I'm gonna hang my and then there's a closet right next to the door. So I'm gonna put that 72-inch backdrop on this wall. So it's gonna fit like pretty much perfectly, like right next to the door, so that even if it's down, somebody walks in, it'll be I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
My backdrop finally matches the wall back there now too, so I don't have that like strip of gray.
I see it's down, and you can you can barely tell that you have it down.
Yeah, it's I'm still working on angles in here. I got the new desks in here and stuff like that. It's probably still sounding a little reverb in here because I don't have any of my sound panels up, so all of the walls are completely bare in here right now. I feel like I'm hearing an echo, but that's just maybe the headphones. So I don't know. We'll see. Got a video still coming out on putting this room together, so got to edit that all together still.
But if anybody is in here, it looks like we got some people who are in my channel and some people who are in Kyle's, which is awesome. I just can't figure. We're still trying to work out the kinks. It's the only downside to that is obviously whatever chat is going on Kyle's chat can't interact with my chat. So I don't know if there's a way to fix that? I'm guessing there's probably not. I think the only way we could possibly do it is to somehow get the chat overlay going on in front of us. The problem is
Yeah,
when we do that, it like pushes us around. So unless I redesign this,
might have
but
to. Yeah, because right now, if I comment as the restream, it goes to both pages. But if I comment on just my user, it only goes to my thing.
right.
So it's confusing. So if we do that, it's going to end up on both people's page, and some people are going to say, "What the heck is going on?"
Right. If you're
So,
commenting on the restream, you're gonna be commenting on something, and it's be like, what the heck is that? So
I'm going to
yeah,
switch mine now.
we're still working out the kinks in this. If you guys have any ideas or whatever, but yeah, I just think it's kind of cool because I've been a part of streams before where it's like all one person getting all the time, and we just want to split everything up evenly here, and we would love to merge our communities together. So anyway, so that's this. My white balance looks so good tonight, and I didn't even really try too hard. It must be this new root studio space that's doing it.
You know what I'm noticing, Paul? Actually, I was setting my thing up earlier today. Our graphic here is orange, and
Yeah.
when we don't have the videos on the screen, that orange like pops into your face from our background, and I looked super orange when I was setting up before you got here, but now it looks fine again because once the videos go over the overlay, that orange goes away. So I actually switched to a new white balance card, Paul.
Ooh.
This white balance, these are actual certified gray cards. I don't have my other one to show you the comparison, but it is so different of a color gray than the one that's the little $5 one. These are pretty accurate now. So I have
So we
that
got
up.
One Vision Ariel asking me if I have a panel light. So I'm so still not used to it. Well, yeah, I was about to do it the right way. This light behind me is my old. I used to have it on my desk, but it's a thin panel. It's the Falcon Eyes 18T, but even with the softbox on it, it's probably about this big. And then I went on Amazon and bought a specific light that comes with like a little remote. It's almost like a ripoff of a Falcon Eyes. It has like this little remote. The funny part is I never use it. This is as dim as the light goes. I never really use it any brighter than that anyway. But it's called FL3060. So there's a number of Chinese brands that make it, like Photo. I think the one I bought was like Fostan. But they make I think Newer makes one too, and it's literally a panel light that's like probably this thick. It has like Velcro, like a bar, and it goes on. So yeah, I am using a panel light for my desk. I just like it because it takes up less room than a big humongous softbox. I personally think the big humongous softbox looks better than both this light and this light right here. But when you want your space to look a little bit more clean, I mean, this is getting the job done. And I think this is actually probably one of the best looking. I don't know whether the white balance, the colors, something looks, I don't know, more crispy. I don't know tonight, at least the way it looks to me. I don't know. I haven't changed anything as far as my setup goes, as far as lighting goes. I mean, I just literally moved everything into this new space. But for whatever reason, I guess tonight I got it set properly. So yay to me. Yay to me. Chris Brockhurst would be very proud if he was actually watching, and so would Ken Dono.
I'm sure he'd find a way to still give you crap for it. So
they're always going to give me crap for it anyway. So let's get into this topic tonight of this Canon R5C. Now, did you get the chance to see any of the specs on it yourself?
Yeah, I mean, after you announced this live stream, I had to go and deep dive into the videos myself because, quite honestly, I could care less about Canons most of the time. So,
well, I just think it's very interesting. I like when I like to see other companies come out with really good cameras, because that will just further push Sony into doing more things and
Right.
being a better company. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. So if you don't know, I'll just throw off the positives that I know, and then I'll back it up with some negatives, because there are, leave it to Canon to always have some sort of cripple hammer in their stuff. But it does shoot 8K 60 frames per second, which is kind of mind-blowing. That you got the A7 IV that just came out, and it shoots 4K 60 frames per second, but it's cropped. And then here you got this, you know,
There are some
8K.
caveats with that AK-60 though. We'll get to that a little later.
Yeah, one of the which is supposedly battery life. So you could barely shoot for very long with the Canon. I think the caveat for it is you cannot shoot in the camera. You have to have an external battery.
Yep,
for shooting in 8K mode.
External power source and a lens that's compatible. Unless you're doing a manual focus, then it doesn't matter.
Well, and that makes no sense to me, right? I mean, it's Canon throwing in that cripple hammer of like, well, we can't make this too convenient for you. We still want you to buy our cinema cameras, and it's like, and then it takes off like autofocus on some lenses. Like it disables like the lens autofocus unless you have an external. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I can't believe they did. And then they took out IBIS, of course, of the camera, so it's not exactly a R5. It's like, hey, we're gonna make an R5 that does great video, but we're gonna take out the IBIS. Probably one of the more important things that video shooters would probably want. IBIS, we'll just take that feature out. You're probably shooting on a tripod.
We'll come back to that, Paul. So what's some of the specs and pros that you saw? Let's start with that.
I mean, just all the video shooting modes. You know, it's definitely competing with the A7 and S3 on that front, because they can pretty much do all those high frame rates per second. It does have they put a fan on it now, so the overheating plague that did the R5 is no more, even though they kind of fixed the R5 a lot. It's a lot better than when it first came out, but they put a fan on it, so you know for a doubt you don't have to worry about overheating. And they what was the other big thing that I saw that the codecs. The codecs supposedly are a lot better, so it's a lot easier to edit the video on this R5C than it is on the R5. So you know you still have to have a beast of a computer for some of these codecs, especially the 8K, but you can at least edit these on machines that are not the M1s, So right. A lot of people were saying with the R5 that it was like pretty much impossible on anything until the M1s came out to pretty much edit the footage. And now they're saying that the R5 is a lot better codecs. So yes, those are plus. I was very shocked with this camera, and then I was like, leave it to Canon to have so many negatives. So the other negative that they had, I know I keep throwing negatives out, Sony fanboy here, but they didn't. I would have thought they would have added Canon C-Log 2, because it's if you want to compete with the A7S III and have that, because the A7S III has S-Log 3, high, tons of dynamic range, very flat image for you to tweak it however you like, but they didn't add their most popular Canon C-Log in to the camera.
Yeah. So they did have C-Log 3 from what I heard. I'm not exactly sure how that compares to 2, I guess, because I'm not like a cinema Canon shooter, but I think there's still something there. It's just not what everyone wanted.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody wanted Canon C-Log 2. Now, originally when the A7S III came out, it didn't have Cinetone, and
if enough people complained about it, they'll put it in the firmware for sure.
And they put it in it. I think what happened was when the FX3 came out, it had Cinetone, and they're like, what the heck, why? So they end up putting it in the A7S III. Will Canon listen to their customers like Sony did? I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll if I had to guess, no. They want you to buy their cinema cameras. They just want to give you a nice taste of what it's like to have a cinema camera. And honestly, the body is. Do you see the size of that thing? That thing is
what I kind of took from it. To me, it looks like one of those cameras that came out 15 years ago. The big, bulky, the screen parts sticking way off. It looks weird. And what I don't get is that how is it that Canon was so on level, like they were ahead of everyone, And then all of a sudden, Sony just kind of like made everything compact, didn't have problem with overheating. I mean, look at the A1 even, like it's the same kind of camera in the same body without having like a big 2-inch fan on the back of it, and
It
not
shoots
to
8K as
mention,
well, maybe not 8K 60, but it shoots
yeah,
full frame 24, no problems on that thing.
yeah, and that's also
And
the Canon has to do everything raw as well. And I get it, it's 12-bit, so it's a higher codec, but it's it's strange that, I mean, like you're talking about a camera now that you can't bring outside in the elements because that fan is not going to be like weatherproof. I would assume. I mean, unless they created some crazy technology, but if there's a way in for air to get out, there's a way for water to get in. So it's you kind of took a camera, made it more vulnerable to weather conditions, which isn't great. But it is nice that they changed their video side though to match that of the other Canon cinema cameras. So that's one big perk for people who are shooting in that like line anyways, is that now you have the same menu system. It's going to probably have a lot of similar setups. It doesn't have internal NDs though, kind of like the C, what is it, C6 or whatever they call it.
right.
So I mean, it's got some upsides, it's got some downsides. It's got lots of codecs, it's got lots of options, a lot of things you have to shoot raw. There's an 8-second delay between changing from video to photo, which is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but like if you're
I
gonna
saw
go,
that. You have to
oh, I need a
change it.
quick
You
snap
probably
of
have to turn it
photo.
off and turn it back on or something.
Yeah, like I mean, you can set there might be a setting in there where if you're in video, you can snap a photo or like a screenshot or something. But like on our cameras, these Sony cameras too, same thing. Like you want to switch from photo to video, you quick switch the thing to photo, boom, you're done. You got it. You already have in like the A7S III and the A7 IV, you have the separated profiles. So when you switch to photo, it's going to be set to whatever you have, and you can quick take a photo. But the Canon, it's like if you got something real quick, you have to have like this 8-second gap between turning it to photo video before you can even do anything. Which I don't know. There's a lots of really nice things about that. What this camera's going to be, but there's a lot of questionable scratching. Like head scratchers. Like what are they doing? What are they thinking here? And the
At the
damn
end of the
camera,
day, I like it.
the camera, it looks like it's the size of. I mean, it's this kind of like the R5 with like depth, like another inch and a half of depth. But also like when you see like different profiles and people holding it, it's like it almost has like a 1DX kind of vibe to it, where it's just this huge camera now, and it's by
Well, I
no
mean,
means a portable. I don't think it's that great of a portability of a camera. So
well, no, not at all. You would think that for a camera that size, they would have. Okay, if you took away built-in, if you took away the IBIS and you added built-in NDs, that might have been a good give or take. But yeah, I mean that camera is huge. Um, it's a monster, like you said. The fan, like
yeah,
if it's that blowing air that easy out, there got to be some sort of not really great weather sealing on it or something. I don't know. Um,
I could be wrong
but
on that, but I'm assuming if there's a way for air to get out, there's a way for water to get in. So
right,
and then
and
oh, I was gonna say
yeah,
the one other thing too with that IBIS deal is that they removed the IBIS so that it would go better with like cinema lenses. The problem is I don't understand why they can't do this. Some other cameras do this. They have that option to lock the IBIS, so you could use cinema cameras, lock IBIS, put them on, and then when you want to have it, you can like unlock it. But they just removed it altogether.
right.
So like, are we talking about we're backing up like 4 years now in camera tech? Like, are you really wanting to spend? I didn't see what the price is of this camera it's going to be, but are you
Forty five
really going
hundred
to want?
dollars.
What is it?
$4,500.
Are you going to spend $4,500 on a camera without any in-body stabilization at this point? I've not.
I mean, yeah, I mean, so it's funny. I mean, I was really like excited to maybe see. I mean, this will still push Sony's boundaries. They're gonna want to one up the spec sheet or whatever. But at the end of the day, I mean, Sony is still, in my opinion, winning it with that A1. And yeah, sure, it's like $2,000 more. I mean, I'd rather have an A7S III versus this uh, R5C or whatever. Just because, yeah, you don't get 8K, but nobody really cares. I don't think that many people care about 8K. I mean, I think that's like a overhyped feature right now. I mean, it's yeah. with all the 4K stuff. Who
Yeah.
cares, right? So you just want a camera that can shoot like portable wise. I mean, that thing is a, like you said, it's a monster. So, and if you're getting something that big, you might as well just go ahead and get a cinema camera. So I don't know, it's weird,
Yeah.
but I mean, at least it's a full. So the plus is it's a full frame sensor,
It's
and
got two
you know,
different crop modes. So you can go from 8K down to, I think it was 6K, or no, it was like 5.6K with a like probably like a 1.5 crop, and then it goes down even further down to like 2.6K. So you can like, there's some pretty cool things that you can actually make that camera do
I'm
for
sorry, Rebel
zooming in on,
Hikes,
but
you care about 8K. Man, I'm not cool enough to even have an 8K TV in my house. So, but you care about
it's
8K.
yeah, it's tech that's still coming, I think, but
I mean, 8K is actually kind of 8K is really would be really cool to have if you could shoot reliably and all that stuff, because it you could crop like crazy. I
yeah.
do like that aspect of it. Like when 4K was, just coming out, and everybody was still pretty much using 1080p, it was still awesome to shoot in 4K and then be able to, do that crop without losing any
Mhm.
quality.
I kind of
So
think that's really, in my opinion, if I had an 8K camera, that'd be the only thing I would use it for, is just reframing composition. So
So here we go. I see the numbers of our chat is going up, or the stream is going up, and then I got people joining back in, and they want me to eat them. So if you guys missed it, and now, holy cow, there's a lot of people in here. They're about to spam our chat and say, ask me to eat the microphone, because they're Dobo is doing this thing every single week after his stream is over, sending people over to our stream and telling me to eat the
see, I
microphone,
don't think
which
he
is kind of
realizes
funny.
that this is running on my channel as well too. So like, we're
I
getting
know.
spammed big time for that. So I'm
It's
ignoring it
okay. They
myself.
can spam me all the. I mean, hey, you know what? If
It
you guys
wants to
want
even
to spam
watch,
me,
but that's fine.
eat the mic. Where's I ate the mic last week, Dobo, and I didn't get my $100. So I don't know if I want to. It's not really worth it for me to eat it again. Come on, man. Eddie Nunez. Uh, I love you all, guys. It's okay. Lick it. Lick it good. Nah.
So I see
Um,
this thing being like the competitor to this one. Part of me wants to say it's kind of a competitor to the A1, but it's also kind of a competitor more to like the FX3, I think, where it's still more in that cinema camera line, but it is more of a hybrid still of being a photography camera as well. So
right.
I just kind of like it's a weird camera because it's falling in between that FX3 and that A1. It's kind of a weird spot for it to sit. So is Sony going to come out with something that's more like a in between as well? I'm not sure.
Rebel Hikes. Thanks for stopping by for at least a little bit. You got to make money for glass, yeah, especially if you're shooting on Canon, because Canon glass is mad. That RF glass is freaking expensive.
I also think I saw on this new camera that it might have a new battery in the Canon line. So it's um, having a new battery. Is that going to be like changing options around again for Canon? Like, cause Canon sure likes to do that, where they like to put out a new camera and then like make everything have to be new and proprietary to that camera. I hope that's not the case, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's just a battery that's the same shape, but it's a different ampere, different milliamp or whatever.
Yeah, so I don't understand the battery thing either. I mean, it's kind of weird, where Canon's kind of. I mean, I guess if you're getting this camera, you're probably going to rig it up, but it's already so big. It sucks going to having to rig it up again.
Yeah, and then there's a
Um,
cage going to block the fan or something like that.
right. I mean, it's just I don't know. I mean, I'd love to hear people's thoughts in the chat if you were here for that, besides telling me to eat the microphone. But if you were planning on getting the R5C or a UCAN shooter, or what your thoughts on this whole thing is anyway. I mean, Eddie Nunez, if you're still in there, man, Mr. Canon fanboy, gonna go get yourself an R5C? Come on, man, Mr. EOSR boy. Or anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think it's great that Canon is it ultimately it's going to still push Sony to try to beat the specs out. But it's funny that all these cameras that have been coming out, and Sony kind of dominated it last year at the beginning of the year when they put the A1 out. I mean, it just in a lot of different categories, it is pushing the envelope. And even with the Nikon Z9, uh, the Sony A1 right now is still the king for photography, and I think it's probably the best hybrid, if you want to say that, even though it's an expensive camera. But we'll see what this year. I hope this year is the year of lenses, like we said before. Like,
Yeah. I'm also wondering,
I
is
mean,
the R5C even going to come out? Because are they going to
well,
have the components to put it out?
it's already on B&H right now, actually. See if it's on back order yet.
I mean, I suppose Canon hasn't been making 20 cameras like Sony has, so maybe they have
Right.
more parts and supplies for their one camera they need to make. So,
yeah, I mean, the funny part is so if you look at the R5, it is out of stock, and they're expecting more on B&H in 2 to 4 weeks. Okay, so on B&H's site, the EOS R5C, it says item is coming soon. Expected availability end of March 2022. So it looks like they just announced it and they're just pushing it out there and waiting for people to pretty much pre-order it, get all their orders in, and they'll fulfill it starting late spring. We'll see.
Yeah, it's
We'll see.
I don't know. It's a camera that doesn't really entice me so much as a. That's the thing, is I think there's gonna be a lot of people who like left Canon and went Sony when A7S III came out and A7 IV. Now it's just like you see this and you're kind of like a further reminder of why maybe you switched in the first place. Seeing this camera with this ridiculous fan on the back, and
I mean, it's huge. Like we said, I mean, I
even
can't
the
get over how
FX3, the
big
FX3 has a fan, but that doesn't look big. It's
Right.
a little bigger, but I don't know. It seems kind of awkward to me that their move was to make something that had a 1.5 inch thick fan sticking out of the back. Like, it just totally, cameras don't have to look pretty, but there's something aesthetically pleasing about a good looking camera. Like, holding it is going to be probably weird, where it just looks weird. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. And then if you want to put like a shooting grip on the bottom of it, what's it going to do there? So
here we go. Deontay. Yes, exactly. I mean, the Canon Cripple Hammer makes me happy to be so. That is honestly, when I was choosing what camera I wanted to go with when I went to full frame, I chose Sony because I believed in the long haul, and thank goodness I did, because I got the A7 III that suited me well enough for for a few years. Then I got the A7S III, and now I have the A7C still which is a great. That's what I'm shooting on right now. I think it's a great little camera, and I love it mainly for photography, just being able to pull around. Even though the A7 IV is out and it looks really awesome, I still love this A7C for photography. I'm really excited, or I really would be excited for the day that they come out with maybe the A7C2 that's pretty much the A7 IV in that small body. But we'll see.
yeah.
But yeah, it's the things like that. Sony just is innovative, and they keep pushing. They overcame their overheating issues, right? Because like you said earlier, they keep pushing the boundaries of making these cameras not only feature packed, but making them in a body that's not like super huge and portable. And I think that's where Canon is really missing the mark.
Some of the parts that Canon may be doing is that they're making a well-rounded camera, and then they put one feature that's just too much for the camera. And then that one feature is what makes everybody talk crap about the camera, like, oh, it overheats. Well, it only overheats in 8K. Well, that just makes it irrelevant to use the 8K then. But the rest of the camera is probably going to be outstanding. I mean, it does 4K and 120, and I think if you're a current Canon user, you're going to see this camera and you're going to say, this looks awesome. This thing, I can deal with the fan. It does like all these different settings, different codecs, 12-bit. I mean, it looks outstanding.
Right.
From someone who maybe left Canon and went to Sony or another company, you're going to look at it going, it's got some cool features, but what the heck is this thing? Like, it's a big, I don't know. It just, it's a weird looking camera with, I don't understand why they had to make it the way they did.
Right.
Why they, maybe you could shoot in the desert or under like some severely hot lighting in studios or something, but, and that's why they like overcompensated the fan or something. I don't know.
But,
But
at the end of the day, like we said,
yeah,
there's I mean,
that's yeah.
R5, R6, the R5C. At the end of the day, there's not a bad camera out there, and it just goes to show we're nitpicking about little like features that we could probably have only dreamed about just a
Right.
few years ago. And it just shows you how much this camera market is changed and has changed and is continuing to change. I think we're getting close to a point where all these big features don't necessarily matter as much as how easy it is to pull out and shoot with now. Like it's getting to a
Mhm.
point where we just need to work on the size and I don't know, and little features like IBIS and stabilization and built-in NDs, like just features like that, more so than I mean, the images out of all these cameras are getting just to be incredible, right? So I think we're about to reach the point where who cares? Who cares about the image quality because everything looks great now. We need to start
Mhm.
focusing on a lot of these
It could just be
these
that
features that will make our life easier.
it could be on this camera too that maybe we're just missing the point of who this camera's built for. Like
Right.
I think everyone we put out a new camera and everyone immediately thinks like it's a YouTuber thing. Like this is probably it's probably just supposed to be a crash cam that fits in Canon's cinema line.
Right.
That one that you can mount on a roll cage inside of a car that's compact. So we're just totally missing the point. Like, why would anyone ever walk around and do YouTube videos with that? It's like, well, that's not the only people that use cameras, so or weddings or whatever.
Yeah. We're
So
spoiled. Yeah, we know. YouTubers go out there and yeah, I got my R5C, man. Thing lives on a tripod. It's my. Oh gosh. Oh man. How's your week been going, man?
it's been busy. I've been working on this room. I trying to put that video together. I put together another video last night on remember how I scuffed up that Tamron lens? I
Yeah.
got some lens skin from Alpha Guard or Lifeguard.
If it works for you, I might have to do the same thing because I have like 3 Tamron lenses. They
Hmm.
all have the same outer coating thing.
Yeah. So I put that on last night. I'm gonna attempt to put that together as a video. It's probably gonna be a short one on how to install it. Maybe I don't know.
So
Sometimes
I
you just
passed
film
my part
yourself
1
doing
son
stuff
last
and then
week.
you just figure it out later in post. So what were
Hey,
you saying?
I passed my part 107 last week, as
Mm-hmm.
and I did a video immediately after when I got home, so I could you know unload pretty much how I passed it. Um, I studied for probably way longer than anybody else did, which is probably explains my 92% score hands down. I mean, I couldn't have done that without studying as much as I did, but um, I went off. I pretty much in the video I explained kind of how what sources I use to study, what videos I watch, because I did pay for Remote Pilot 101, but that wasn't the only tool that I used to study for. And after doing it, I'm kind of giving away my video a little bit, but I think the Remote Pilot 101 is great for people who are really like me, who are really worried about passing tests and not
Mm-hmm.
really great test takers. It kind of gives you that reassurance if you fail it. Okay, at least you get your money back for the class, and you didn't just like waste not only $150 on the class, but then another 175 on taking the test.
Right.
You at least get your money back for the class. But um, and it's great because you don't have to worry about studying the FAA study guide. I think people who are dedicated could definitely do it without doing those classes, just by studying the study guide, watching the Tony Northrup video, and a number of other videos that I also watched on YouTube, and then taking practice the FAA practice test after practice test, and just keep doing it and doing it. But it was nice being able to have a different test on Remote Pilot 101. So I took that one a number of times till I passed it. Then I took the FAA one a number of times till I passed it, and I got 92%. So, but there will be a video kind of breaking down that what I just told you in about 13 minutes. So
yeah,
I haven't finished editing it yet.
Drones.
What's that?
I just got to go do some flying.
Oh, I know. I haven't actually flown my drones in a really long time. My Altel Evo 2 has been kind of collecting dust, but I'm gonna have to like dust that bad boy off. I mean, my son loves watching me fly it, so it is fun doing that. So I got to get back out there and fly again and get that practice back in. But I kind of been like not motivated to do it because I didn't have my Part 107. Not that you can't do it as a hobbyist, but I don't know. I always wanted to do it for my wife's real estate office would always ask me to do stuff for them. And then for a period there, I was doing it for them. And then I learned, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. So I immediately stopped and told all the agents there, hey, you were hiring me without a Part 107. Why don't you guys understand this? I'm studying for the test. So when I do pass it, you can hire me again. And I went into the office and some of them were like, I'm taking my own drone shots. Is that okay? I'm like, do you have your Part 107? No. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not getting paid for it. Wait, but you're not getting paid for the property. You're getting paid for the property. So technically, you're doing it commercially. So you have to have a 107 just to take your own drone shots. Otherwise, you need to hire somebody out who does have it because it's illegal. So they're all like minds blown, So anyway, I got my new logo, so I'm excited about that. This video will be the first one with my little logo sting, a new logo sting. I'm trying to rebrand a lot of the titles and social media stuff to kind of match that. So
you got some new Stinger music?
I mean, I haven't picked out any
you sent me
music.
The thing you sent me had some sound effects.
Right.
Do you have like
I'm going for the clean.
2?
What's that?
I was gonna say, do you have like a version 2 with some?
I do have a version 2. It has a little bit more sound effects added to it, and I got rid of the last boom and kind of just had it like glitch out. But I added some like blue flares in the background. But anyway, I wanted to be like quick, just wanted to be like 5 seconds, just instead of having like these like overabundant long, intros. Like people have like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. It's like 15 seconds I can lose somebody. I just want a quick logo sting and then boom, get right into the video. So
mine was 11 seconds long. My original song that I had was one that I recorded at my studio myself. So I used that. That was my intro, and I sped it up because I felt like it was getting too long at some point. So I went in and I changed the tempo of it. Then I eventually just have changed to something else. I think I've been using a different one lately, but I'm trying to make mine shorter too, Paul. But the cool thing is that if you use that black background like you sent me, you can also just throw that on over as like a overlay and put it to screen, and then it'll just play over anything too. So that's what's kind of cool.
How many WTF questions were there? What? I'm confused on what that one was. Do you understand what he's asking?
I would assume it maybe have something to do with all the Eat the Mic comments or something. I don't know. But
a swag. He's as a dad. Sony has that young swag that they. I mean, yeah, it. There's a lot of young hype around it. I will say that a lot of the it's hard to convert like dedicated Nikon and Canon shooters who've been shooting it for years, as it would be if for us that shoot Sony for years. I mean, Canon or Nikon would have to come out with like something that's like completely mind blowing for us to move away from Sony. And there's a lot of people who think the same way about their Canon and Nikon stuff. I remember there was somebody that and photography too is like a those dedicated Nikon photography shooters, they're not going anywhere, and they're probably, the sad part is they're probably not even upgrading to those. They're not even upgrading to those new Z's, mirrorless cameras. They've been dedicated DSLR shooters for years, and they probably still going to be dedicated DSLR shooters for the coming years until they have finally no other choice but to upgrade to mirrorless. I don't know.
Yeah, once a dad, always a dad. I mean, once a Nikon shooter, always a Nikon shooter.
Right.
No, I used to shoot Canon. I reluctantly got a camera from my parents, a small little point and shoot to start vlogging with. I wanted to, hopefully, I was going to try to get them to help me go buy one camera that I wanted, like a G7X. And I used to have like the Rebel line. I used to shoot some of the T2, T2i and T3i. But then I got like an RX 100 and I just switched to Sony at that point.
That was what he was saying. So Brad called me and he was like, there was always going to be these questions, these WTF questions that are like, you're like studying for, and you're like, that was not a part of anything that I studied for.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't even think there was one question that I was like, WTF, I never studied for that. I'm trying to think. And I feel like there was only maybe one, if there was any, there was one question on the test, but it wasn't like a complete, like, whoa. I just remember thinking to myself, I don't remember.
Well, you scored like a 93 on your test, so like you only would have missed like one question anyway. So
5. I missed 5.
You missed 5? Okay. Well, there's a lot of questions
Yeah.
then.
When I walked out of there, I actually felt like I was only gonna miss 2 questions. There was 2 questions I was hung up on. The rest of them I thought I aced it. Like I even went back and I finished it in 35 minutes, and I was like, I probably should go back and reread some of these questions. So I just kind of went through all the questions and reread them again since I had time, and I was like, nope. I read them. I thought I read them all correctly, but obviously there was 3 other questions. I'm assuming that the 2 that I got hung up on, I probably got wrong and guessed wrong, because I think I literally just guessed for those 2. The best educated guess, and maybe the ironic thing would be is if I did get one or both those questions right, and I got 5 other questions wrong that I thought I nailed. But at the end of the day, I don't care. It tells you, like, the problem with the test is it tells you this is the section that you got wrong. Out of like the questions that you got wrong were in this section of the study guide, but it doesn't tell you, like, you have no way of figuring out what exactly question it is that you got wrong, because they don't want to give you the test questions after the fact. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I don't really care, as long as if I got a 70 on that test, I would have been like, I don't care. Like, I got a 92 and I was shocked, but like if I got a 70, I would have been like, sweet, don't want to take that one again. So it's cool. Yeah, the big worry is off my shoulders for sure for that test. The big worry. But so you said that what were the big positives that you walked away from this Canon R5C?
I mean the positives are it still does outstanding 4K. It does all the 4K 60, 120. I think it's in 12-bit. So the colors are color grading on this camera is going to be phenomenal. It does a lot of raw stuff. So, I mean, like, if you want to shoot and do all that, you can. But if you just want to be simple and kind of just stick with like a normal codec, I think I don't know if there's a 10-bit option as well, but it sounded like everything was a 12-bit.
10-bit is the new 8-bit
for them. So I mean, it's going to be a really hell of a camera. I think it's got a couple things that are making it have to have that fan, and like the 8K thing. I guess if you want to re-zoom in on your shots and recompose them, like that's what that's going to be for now, until 8K is more of a relevant thing. But I still think it's going to be a great camera. It's like the fixed version of the R5. Unfortunately for them, the fixed version means they stuck a stupid 2-inch fan on the back. But like, which you could already buy aftermarket anyways. But it's yeah, I mean it's still gonna be a phenomenal camera. I'm not saying it's, I'm not like talking crap about the camera. I'm just as a Sony user saying it's weird that they couldn't make it more compact and actually like something like what Sony's done with theirs. So
One Vision aerial. I guess you missed like it like 5-10 minutes ago, but yeah, we went over that. I passed my 107 with 92%, so I'm good. I'll take that test again.
so Brad put he said it like it's a big plus is it's only $600 more. I kind of think because of how like they dropped the ball so bad with the R5, as far as it overheating and having all the problems it have, this should be the same price as the R5, and they should reduce the price of that camera. That's what I think they should have done. Granted, this has a bit more than that camera does for options, but this is kind of like the fix for the R5. When they first announced the R5C, I actually thought it was going to be a compact camera. I didn't realize it was going to be like a cinema camera.
Oh no! When they said the C, I knew like, Canon's thing with the C is always cinema,
Right.
the red C. So they've.
But it's got a red shutter button, Paul.
Man,
everybody needs that red. Is it me or does that kind of look cheesy? Like, I don't know.
If you really wanted that, you could get one for a Sony.
I don't know. It's got a tally light. It's got a tally light. There is a tally light on this camera.
Hey, I just like I like that it puts a a red box around the screen. That's what I like it. You know?
Having the tally light though, I mean, it doesn't have 4 like the FX3 does, but I mean, it's got 1. I just love how like we're in a world where tally lights, people want them again. But like, a while back we were putting tape over them because we didn't want people to know you were recording. Or it was just always like annoying to have that red light on all the time. So.
And then you got the FX3 that has like tally lights everywhere.
Yeah. It's like a disco ball of tally lights.
Hey,
Paul, one thing I'm also, I just forgot to mention, I picked this guy up the other day.
Oh yes.
This
How
is
do you
the
like
Mac
that?
only
I'm
version.
curious.
It's I'm getting used to it. It's got the cool thumb scroll wheel, but I really like the Apple mouse, so you could just kind of like flick it really fast, and it just scrolls like it's like you're rolling a ball. Versus this, it kind of just stops suddenly. You're like, come on, keep going. No, I did some cool options though, where you can like in different programs. I have it now set to where like I can go to the beginning of a project or the end of the project just with the 2 buttons. You can like cut and trim the front and cut and trim the end with just 1 button click, and so there's some cool features with this thing for sure. But yeah, I'm getting used to it. Like I said, I'm still doing that whole studio remodel over here as well. So
it looks great. So what do you have? What's coming next for your studio remodel?
I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with this backdrop here. I kind of want to make a new set back there, but I don't really have another place to put that shelf because I have like this foundation wall all along the because I'm in a split entry, so like the first 4 feet of this house is actually underground. So like where that window is right there, that's kind of like ground level basically. But I added this new desk right here that I can slide out and move over anywhere I want, or I can just keep it as an L shape right now. And this is like a power desk or a lift desk, which is pretty cool. I really liked bringing the white into the room and making it bright, but
You want to answer this question because
well,
you're better at it.
Why is it titled "Goodbye A7S3"? Because Paul wanted a clickbait title. That's probably why. No, it's because a lot of people ditched the R5 and Canon to go to Sony because of the A7S3. And if this were to be a mass exodus of people going back to Canon, it would be because of this camera. I still think a lot of the people who switched to Sony at this point are not going to go back to Canon, but I don't think I doubt the low light is going to be any better on it. I haven't really seen a test of it, but it's a higher megapixel camera, so it's probably going to be a Like Canon's never touched the low light capability of the A7 series.
Right. And yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a clickbaity title. I think the humor behind it is both Kyle and I shoot A7 S3s, and it was almost like, are we going to get rid of our A7 S3s for this camera?
I
No,
thought it
we're
was
not.
actually a Goodbye Sony A7S III question mark, but I don't think you put it on the actual
Oh, yeah, I kind of screwed up on that
description.
one.
Yeah, it's called putting a description up just before we start the.
I was actually going to do a part 107 uh, stream this week, and I totally slacked and didn't schedule it in time. And then when the Canon was announced today, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to change the subject because it's a pretty heated topic, and like I said earlier, there's no bad camera out there. It's really all personal preference, which brand you shoot with, which lenses you're invested in. The Canon R5C is definitely a good competitor to the A7S III if you don't mind the size of it, and I'm sure it's going to be a great, a decent low light. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's going to be any better than the R5. That's the same. I mean, it looks like the same sensor, same megapixel sensor. I think the A7S III is still going to have it beat, but there's other things that people shoot. Video features wise that are more important to them than just low light, and certainly the A7S III is got way more features in it than just the low light. So it's very interesting when you start seeing a lot of these video codecs and stuff like that come out that are stretching. They're competing against the
Right.
A7S III. Um, dynamic range, all those things come into play. The 12-bit versus Canon doing this 12-bit now. Saying, I got you. You got 10-bit in that A7S III.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
12-bit and
Now that you
120
now
frames
that
per
you got
second
that
in
new Mac
4K.
M1, here's 12-bit. Boom, irrelevant computer again. I wonder what I
Yeah,
wonder what I wonder what using that's going to be. I'm curious, generally curious to see how big those files are and how much they could just collapse a computer again. I don't know. Maybe the colors don't make that big of a difference as far as what that camera's able to edit, but I know when they were trying to run the 10-bit, it was destroying computers. So yeah, hopefully this weekend, Paul, I'm gonna actually get out too and try to film the crane video finally, um, the crane M3 video.
oh man, about time.
Yeah, I just I said screw it. Like when I first was getting this thing, my thought process was by the time I get it, it's gonna be cold. I'm gonna go over to Buck Hill and do some tubing maybe and maybe a little bit of snowboarding with someone else, but and use the gimbal for that because that's chaos trying to hold a camera and going down a hill on an inner tube. And then when Chris Brockhurst put that video out, I was just kind of like, God dang it! Like that was what I was gonna do, and he did the same thing. I don't care. I'm just gonna do it anyways because why not? I'm gonna
Yeah,
show like a bunch of other stuff other than just tubing anyway. So, but it's like negative degrees right now, so hopefully it's gonna be a little bit of a warm up. Tomorrow we're supposed to have a weather advisory warning again of like wind and like wind chill, and so hopefully it's warming up a little bit before the weekend.
I'm having to start wearing a jacket this week. It's just a little
Yeah.
cold outside.
I left my car outside last night because I was painting stuff in the garage and I forgot to pull the car in. So I got out this morning. I was like,
Oh,
oh man, the car's like barely starts. It's freezing inside. I mean, it was like -10 this morning here or something like that. So
I don't know what any of that's like. Yeah, it's very interesting because I passed my 107, right. So and then I was gonna like upgrade my drone, and DJI, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna upgrade to the DJI Air 2S, and then I'll have the Autel Evo 2 as my backup because if you're in Orlando, you need to have like an Autel drone that doesn't have any geofencing on it, because if you have any paid gigs that you need to take shots for, you need to make sure you can unlock your drone. If you can't get it unlocked for whatever reason with the DJI having that geofencing, sometimes there's issues even if you have a waiver.
Yep.
So I always say, you always got to have an Autel drone and a DJI, but then Autel comes out with this Light 2 Plus. Have you seen any videos on that by any chance?
Mm.
Oh, it looks so dang good, and it's a little bit bigger than the Air 2S, but the image out of it looks gorgeous, and it supposedly flies really well. Ken told me just he really, if you can get past being a DJI fanboy, it's actually a really fun drone to fly, and it's his go-to right now, which is for me is impressive because I think there was a period of time where he was, like Autel's great, but DJI still flies better, and now he's this new Light Plus is kind of pushing the boundaries on that, so I think it's exciting. But I'm
Yeah,
only talking about.
I honestly haven't really been too in depth with a lot of drones lately, just because I don't have a 107 and I can't use any drone footage anymore on this channel because my channel's monetized. So any video that I would have would technically be listed as a commercial use. So
Listen, just say that I shot all your video drone footage.
I'm wondering how they couldn't just prove that it wasn't like stock footage or something, or who someone
Well,
else
they can't.
flying it. Yeah.
Um, Fly Zone, thank you. Yeah, this is my wife moved me in to the bigger room, and so now this is my new studio space. I haven't yet. I mean, the background is kind of bland in my opinion, but I haven't yet figured out what I'm going to do with this space. I know I'm going to do some sort of background behind me for my streaming, and then this wall over here will be like my main focal wall. So this will be like filming wall.
You're on the just for reference, because I know you showed me pictures. You're on the wall, like the width goes the long way when you walk in the room. So like the wall behind you is the one that's closer to you.
Right. This is with the long way, and then these two walls are closer together.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you say it's a bigger room on camera right now, it looks half the size because you're set up completely backwards from your other setup. So
well, yeah, from my other setup, if I was sitting against this wall, I would have been sitting kind of like in an angle like this.
mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get. I think I'm going to still do that with this space, except for I'm going to shoot in this corner facing this way, so you would see part of this desk and part of that wall. That'll be one of my camera angles, and then the other one will be just straight on for this wall, straight on for this wall, and then straight on for that wall. So I could have like those three plus that fourth angle kind of the room. I don't know. That's kind of the way I think of it. And then, well, really for another fifth one, because I'll have my backdrop paper on this wall if I want just like a straight flat shot. I don't know. We're toying with that. We might still put the backdrop on this wall just to lay it down, because it would be really kind of hard to shoot with the backdrop because the desk is kind of close to that right there. So I don't know. I don't know if that would work out very well. But
I'm thinking about putting another back, because I have like a green screen and a white backdrop. I have all these other ones that are not as wide. That one back there is like a 108 inch or something like that, or 96 inch. That one is the wide one because that wall is like 13 feet wide. But the one that's on this side of the wall would be perfect for that. I just don't know how to make it look good and clean at the same time because, for instance, that's my wall right now. So if I put that thing like up at the top, Paul, above those pictures, how would I make that look good having a backdrop up there that I can bring down without it making it just look like crap always when it's there? My thought was like maybe put some hooks on the ceiling that are not really big and then just switch to like a wooden dowel in between the paper. That way I can just like put it up when I want it and then just like pull it down.
So
something like that.
I'm still trying to figure out what backdrop I want to do. Like, I wish I could have, I don't know. So I like the idea of what you said, like putting the desk on the far side of the wall. Like, it would have been great if I put it this way. The only problem with that is then I would have been facing a closet and a door, and it would look completely ugly. That's why I didn't end up doing it that way.
What are you saying, Paul? Closet and a door.
Yeah, but the door is on the other wall, so you can't see it.
True that. Well, the goal, the thing when you're building a studio, and this is something I'm going to kind of talk about in my next video too, is that you want to have it so that you can have like multiple angles and have everything work. because you don't want the same look all the time. It gets boring.
Right.
That's why it's fun when you see these big channels, these guys that have these huge rooms. They can put cameras wherever they want. All you have to do is make sure you get the lighting correct. I actually got a cool.
I
I
love
can't show it,
that
but
sound
I got
disc.
this like plate, and it's like a stand about that big. That's like an arm that has the light stand on the top, but the plate is like steel. So I was actually gonna screw these like I got these like 65-pound magnet capability magnets that you can just like screw to the ceiling, stuff like at like Home Depot. Then you could like put them in different spots and then just take the light stand down, walk it over and just like magnet it up on the next spot. I tested it in one spot and it worked fine. I tried it on the side of the wall and it holds, but it wants to slide. So
Right.
I'd have to get something to get that from stopping. But that way you could just paint over these magnets or even just cover them in vinyl or something. You would never even notice they're there, but then you could just literally put your lights in any spot in the room and not have to have like 5 different lights all the time. So that's what I'm going to try to do in this room with that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to. I don't know if I saw this YouTube video. One of the things I really liked is the slate walls, where he cut the slate, but then he uh, routed out the center of like random ones on the wall and put LED strip lights inside of them,
Hmm.
and it was really cool. Like had like a random design behind him that was RGB like controlled strip lights. That just, I mean,
Hmm.
wow. It is a lot of work though, so I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd be able to do that, but it
That
looked
that's
really awesome.
that's my thing too. Is that I took everything out of this room, stripped everything down, took everything off the walls, did all that stuff, and it doesn't look like maybe a lot happened other than just painting the walls. But like when you have to try to put out videos every single week, it was such a chore to try to like do all of that, get it back in, try to get it back together, so you can kind of keep moving on. And then that's kind of the problem is that like I want to do more with this room, but I'm gonna have to slowly do it now that it's back together again. So because it's just I can't take like months off to like redo my room and then put it all back together and have this sweet room. But
Yep, and my studio space. Some of my videos that I shoot in front of the gray screen or the drop down. That's at my work in the office next to my office. I got
yeah,
I got like two offices that one's like my filming office, and then the other ones where I actually work out of. And I might be getting in. There's a strong possibility that I could get a promotion in the next few weeks to a month, depending on if a job opens up again that might be opening up very soon, supposedly, and then I have to apply for that and get that. I got all the interview. I was really close. My brother beat me out for the last one, so if I get this one, I would work with my brother again, with my brother doing the same job, which would be kind of funny. But yeah, all that to say, I might not have that studio space anymore because the new job I would not be able to, one, shoot a lot of videos at work, and two, um, I would not have nearly. I'd be in a cubicle, moving from like a big office to a cubicle. So uh, all that to say, if that happens, I'm definitely going to be having to move in a lot of stuff into the studio space and shooting videos back in here regularly because at this point right now I only shoot my most of the time I'm only shooting just these live streams. So
right. Hopefully that'll change soon with some of your videos and being able to like move around again. For me,
I
it's
mean,
for me like I really wanted to do this room right now too because it's winter here now, so like I'm not gonna go out as much as I normally would. It's not fun going out and having to shoot for an hour or two in like
no,
negative temperature.
right,
Um, you'll do like when you get really fun, crazy, ridiculously thick, heavy snow. That's kind of fun because it's you can put slow motion on it whenever. There's some things that are fun to go outside and film, and like regular reviews is not one of them in the winter. So that's why I was like, I need to redo the studio in here. I want a new standing desk. I want to be able to move that standing desk. But That's that was why I did mine as quick as I possibly could right now, because I'm going to be doing a lot more sit down talking head stuff here for a while.
Wow, there's somebody. If you guys look at the chat, let me see if I can copy. I'm going to copy this for your audience in case somebody else. I mean, just in case somebody else is on this, but and it'll show up for my audience and yours. One Vision Ariel, he posted a video, and this is the one from last week. It looks like it was the one from last week where they crashed. It was the part of the Adobe stream where he crashed our stream. Remember last week, the same thing happened again.
Yep.
And he edited it. He kind of edited it together seamlessly so you can see the part of Dobo stream, and then when they crashed mine and it switched to ours, it was very interesting. Anyway, anyway, oh man, it's already been an hour. Already been an hour. And the other thing I want to do with my room is I want to do more like a wall like of stuff like this that just describes me as a person right here. This is, I love this. I got this at Target, and like it's just so cool. Oh man, I wanted the flying DeLorean one that with the wheels but they I looked online and it's like out of stock.
I have that one.
And it was like crazy expensive on. I think they had one on Amazon, but it was like $50 or something like that. And I'm like, it was $15 at Target. So I got that. I got that part.
I think
one
mine was like 85 when I bought mine. Yeah, I haven't put my my air mags have kind of just I put them in a new spot, and I don't know if I'm going to move them or not. I might put them back in the room, but the problem with that air mag case, Paul, that I normally keep on my shelf, is that it's glass, so it reflects. So I always have to like have it turned so that it reflects away from the light, and then there's a mirror in the back of it too, so it does some weird things. And sometimes I've noticed that when you're in the video, it'll like all of a sudden sync the face tracking will all of a sudden just jump onto the shoe for some reason because of the mirror that's in there in the glass. So like maybe it's reflecting and it's seeing like movement in my hand or something, whatever. So I don't know if I'm going to put them back or not, which has kind of been my thing since day one, having that those Nike Air Mags in a case back there. So
yeah. So yeah, I love all that. So is that behind you that shelf? Is that a IKEA shelf?
maybe Target. I think it was Target. Yeah. I wish it was wider.
So there's a few ideas I've been toying around. I've been toying around getting a shelf like that, but maybe a little bit thinner, or I don't know, maybe that size, and put like one here, and then in the like take away this is a mounted TV. It's an old one. I just take it off the wall, fill the holes, whatever, and put either my charging wall here, or get like a PF LED sign. I want to put a LED PF logo sign in here, either right here or on this focal wall in the middle of it. I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out. But I think it'd be kind of cool to get some shelves on either side and just fill it with a bunch of knickknacks like Marvel stuff, Back to the Future stuff, all this kind of different stuff that describes me. I'd probably put some Florida Gator stuff up there. I don't know.
Yeah, I got a lot of Back to the Future stuff I could put in here, but I just doesn't like that snowboard in my. I have to bust that snowboard out. I haven't even taken it out this year. I got my boosted board with the hoverboard grip tape on it, but yeah, we'll see. I still got a lot of stuff to redo. Like right now, what you're seeing was kind of rushed to put back together for tonight. So
right,
but
you got that Playmobil clock tower set that looks so cool.
Yeah, well, I also was filming a video yesterday.
DeLorean.
What's that?
I want the Playmobil DeLorean. It looks sweet, where the tires roll down and everything, and it lights up.
My one friend, sometimes he'll do his live streams from inside of his DeLorean.
Oh, that would be so cool.
You guys want to check it out? His channel is called rentdelorean.com, or just Rent DeLorean on YouTube. He does a lot of like DeLorean Zoom call things where he'll sometimes do it from inside the car, and he has like a full replica car, and it's kind of fun.
I'm
So
so jealous. I want a full replica car. And there's a guy that like rebuilds them locally. I would love to have one. That would be so cool. If I could like manage to make it profitable for me to rent it out to like stuff and pay and have that
yeah,
pay me back for the actual cost of the car, I would
yep,
totally own one.
it's a retirement plan. That's what I've been saying.
That's a retirement plan. One day I'm gonna own a DeLorean, Back to the Future DeLorean. It's gonna be awesome.
This chat thing is weird, Paul. I've replied a couple times onto stuff, but I keep forgetting to change it to the right person. We have the controls. We have three options to reply to chats. I can reply as me, I can reply as Paul, and I can reply to both. But both goes to both channels. So if I'm replying to one person, someone's going to
Right.
see it on the other channel and be like, "What? What's that all
Right, it'll
about?" So
be it's like if you reply to both, it'll reply to our channels as whoever the host is. So I could say "What's up" as just me, "What's up"
yeah.
as Kyle, but it would only show up on Kyle's channel, and then I could say "What's up" as both of us, but it would show up as me saying it and then him saying it.
Mhm.
It's very interesting doing dual streaming two channels, but I don't know. So far, so good. The chat thing is just a little bit interesting, you know.
Yeah. Still getting used to it. I would be also tempted to check out some of those other stream things too, just to see what they're like Ecamm and things like that. But
Right. I think Ecamm would be the most interesting, and we're both Mac
I would
users,
like. I
so
mean, I would love to be able to shoot. I would love to be able to live stream in 4K if it was a possibility. That's the thing is like we're talking about all these like I'm shooting with my A7S III right now, but it probably looks like I'm shooting with an iPhone on the stream because the stream is suppressing our footage quite a bit. So
I don't think it looks as bad as an iPhone, but it
well,
definitely is
no,
a little bit blurrier or whatever.
right.
But that's the thing. A lot of these like 4K, you gotta spend like 50 or $80 a month just to get the dang software. It's really expensive, and you know, I don't even have.
Yeah,
I can't even get super chats on my channel right now to help pay for the streaming. So we're literally doing this for fun.
yeah.
But hey, one day we'll get the
I
creator
think I
thing
can
going.
do super chats. I just haven't have it set up because I haven't done one live stream on my channel. So
Oh, that would be interesting. That's interesting. Because you could do super chats on your channel, but I can't do it on mine. Huh, interesting. But it's totally different chat, so that's
yeah,
why
it's
also how
probably
that works.
why most people like start a whole new channel just for their live streams, so that it all goes to one.
You know, maybe that's
What's
what
the
we
fun
should
of
have
that?
done.
Yeah, then you got to rebuild a
but then
crowd.
it's hard to then you got to build. I feel like then you got to build an audience all from that. You know,
Right.
I don't know.
Very true. Hey, Paul, I got to come down to Florida soon because it's too cold up here.
Hey, we got
But
a
I have
guest
like
room
never,
ready
I
for you.
never have any time off though, so that's the problem about working in a hospital. No time off.
Ugh, yeah, it's probably really crazy right now too.
Yeah, I'll have like my staff. The COVID's hitting my staff now, so we're losing people every couple days here. They're
It's
back in
crazy,
5 days later, but which is also kind of a little weird.
right? Coming back 5 days later because they probably can come back and then give it to somebody else.
I think with the new strain around, 5 days is enough, but that doesn't mean that someone didn't get the other strain. So, like when I had it back a year ago, like it took a good 10 days to kind of get over it. Like it was just a new symptom every day that just and like, never all at once. It was just a new one every day. It was weird. So, but yeah, it's work's been kind of kicking my butt this last couple weeks because we're been shorthanded and stuff. So, life
Crazy.
of being in a hospital.
Night, Bob Ariel. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to call it tonight. This is getting pretty late here, and we're definitely going 14 minutes over. But hey, like I said, there's not a really terrible camera out there. They're all good.
Right.
A lot of the drones are dang good. It's just whatever you can speak your, that you can come out with a great story and make something that's good. Um, you know, they're all good. So just pick a brand and go for it. That's all I gotta say. Pick a brand, create, and you know that your future is whatever you make it. No pun intended. So, or a pun intended. I don't know, however you want to say that. But had a great night tonight. R5C, very cool camera, pushing boundaries. Excited to see what Sony does in the future to kind of do in this competition world. See what happens. But
I'm excited just to see more about the Canon R5C, because right now we've just seen everything that's out there right now is all prototype cameras.
right.
So, like, give it a couple weeks, or give it however long it's going to be before we see this camera actually hit real market and real videos come out on it. So,
Has
'cause
Gerald
you'll see-
Undone got one yet?
I haven't looked. I'm sure he did, but he hasn't really been a Canon guy. He's been like Blackmagic and Sony now for quite a while. So,
Oh, he's definitely he's a Sony guy. He's a studio full of A1s. Isn't that nice? But yes, he has not posted a video yet, so it's not an official release until Gerald Undone
right.
does a full-on dedicated review for the product.
But yeah, I mean, right now it's a preview of what we've seen, so it's gonna be interesting to see what it does. I mean, maybe it ends up taking off and it becomes the next awesome camera to have. So
Just it's like half the size of a cinema camera, without built-in indies.
you know,
All
when
right,
when they make a Canon R5C compact, it's gonna just look like the R5, right? If they ever make a compact version of that camera.
The compact.
That was a
The
really
CC?
bad joke that just totally bombed. Paul, don't bother even trying to dice that one together.
The Canon 5cc.
Yep. 5
CC.
CCs.
CCs. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great night. And you guys know that I will see you guys in the future.
Later.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! One shot for the kill, the breeze cut, freeze up, straight dropping the chills. I'm talking taking over pieces and shares. A bomb break sky high, check the movement is here. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!